game is back. They're not new to this, but true to this.
Can't remember a day I didn't have the basketball.
I play basketball for the love of the game.
You're going to see a battle.
The athletes reinvigorate and motivate to win. The game is not new, but fresh.
Anybody can beat anybody if you don't come ready to play.
Banner season. It's ring season.
Here we go again. The party don't end. Get up, get up, get up and get down.
The love, the fans, the atmosphere. New faces, but the same tradition.
We are the Tar Heels.
Get up, get up, get up and get down. Get up, get up, get up and get down.
A new year, a new opportunity.
Coach, I can't wait to get going. I'm excited.
Not new to this, true to this.
Get up, get up, get up and get down. Get up, get up, get up and get down. Get up, get up, get up and get down. Get down.
Welcome to Chapel Hill, where we kick off a great day of college basketball with the #1 team in the country, North Carolina, here at home against James Madison. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. Dan Bonner, Mike Monaco with you, and here we go. North Carolina 3-0. This might be their best test yet against JMU, and it's another different style of opponent.
They've played a couple of teams want to play slowly. Charleston wanted to go quickly, but I'm telling you, JMU, they want to go like this. They'll pressure you. It's going to be interesting.
Caleb Love, 21 points per game so far for the Heels. How does he factor into that, the style of play?
Well, when you're playing against a team that likes to pressure, that means you're going to get some opportunities in transition, and Caleb Love is outstanding in transition. He could have a big game today.
Caleb Love, 12 points away from 1,000 for his career. The opponent for the Heels, James Madison, 4-0. Ken Pom says it's the best team in the Sun Belt, and look at the numbers so far for the Dukes.
You know, College of Charleston against North Carolina wanted to play fast, but these guys take it to a whole new level.
Yeah, 105 points per game. Second best in the country so far. But of course, a different animal in the opponent for James Madison against #1. Justin Porterfield's got the ball in hand. Armando Bacot against Justin Amati. The Heels control with R.J. Davis. And off we go from the Smith Center.
James Madison starts in the man-to-man.
6-point win for North Carolina on Tuesday. Game you were here for, Dan, against Gardner-Webb, part of the 3 wins so far to begin this season at home before the Heels are off to Portland. Shot clock below 10 for Leaky Black, who is fouled. Mikel Molson got his arm in there and gets tagged with the personal.
I mean, when that ball comes up there, it's so tempting to smack at it, Mike. But you know, that's the Dukes had him in really a tough spot, and Molson bailed him out.
Usual starters for Hubert Davis. So 20 on the timer, and it's into Davis, coming off a double-double, second of his career. He had 14 and 10 in that win on Tuesday. Pete Nance left alone for 2.
North Carolina missed the first one. JMU doubles off that screen, but they found the second one, and that was Nance.
Molson spins it out from deep. Armando Bacot the rebound. You saw the starters flash on your screen for James Madison. 4 in purple is Vado Morse, preseason first-team All-Sun Belt. And he's got the mismatch right now on Nance. Passing out of a double for Black. Bacot battles on the boards and draws a foul.
And that's going to be a problem for James Madison. Their tallest guy out there is Offram at 6'8", and Amati is 6'7", and Bacot, of course, 6'11", Nance 6'11". So when you're scrambling around like they're scrambling around on defense, it's hard sometimes to find your blockout responsibilities, and they got to find every one, or they can get worn out on the inside.
And it was Offram who got hit with the foul. They say a shooting foul, so Armando Bacot to the strike. 10 points, 9 rebounds. Just 2 made field goals for Mondo on Tuesday. A lot of the talk post-game from the Carolina side was about what they can do better. Hubert Davis didn't say it was red flags, but he said some yellow flags that have popped up with his team the first 3 games, and looking to correct that still early on this season.
you're going to get flags of all colors and descriptions popping up in your first 3 games of the season when you're trying to put things together.
Yeah, he said to us, a similar tune that he has said so far this season, the expectation that you're going to win every game by 30 or 40. Morse from the corner short, Baycott the rebound, and Carolina runs up 3-0 in the first 90 seconds. Offensive foul on Nance on the dribble handoff.
Sometimes when you're playing against aggressive defense, you go a little bit too quickly, and that's what Nance was doing right there. You got to get stopped. That dribble handoff is a hard thing to do with the way they call screening in this day and age. So right at the moment, the Dukes are not exactly on their 105-point pace.
No. Nor the tempo that we promised. They're one of the fastest tempos in the country so far. Morse on the bounce for Amadi. Tough pass to handle, and Baycott primes it free. Love around the screen, got the switch. Baycott the seal, and the finish.
Baycott is so tough in there. The Dukes trying to front, and that was just an excellent pass.
Amadi, very bouncy big man, gives it up for Molson. Knocks it down. Takel Molson, the 6th-year senior, nearly 1,400 points in his career.
Now, JMU's not a crazy three-point shooting team, but they've got 12 different guys on their team that have already made a 3 this year, so they're versatile from out there.
Oh, straight out.
And that's bad news for James Madison, good news for North Carolina. Love coming in this year, a 19% three-point shooter.
Boy, he shot it big in the second half on Tuesday. He's had a couple of big second half performances in a row. Off the opera miss. Heels by 5. Davis slicing through a double. Nance too strong. The rebound to Molson. Molson back from a torn ACL suffered in January of last season. That's had it taken away by Love. On the corner kick for Morse. No dice. And Nance the rebound. Davis. And a blocking foul is called.
North Carolina doing a really good job moving the basketball, moving players around. Look at that. Nobody's in the screen until Molson gets there at the last second. That's a really good job taking advantage of what the defense is trying to do.
And then they got out and ran, and fouls on Terrence Edwards. That's already his 2nd. He's a key guy for James Madison.
Very versatile guy, very interesting skill set for Edwards. But the Dukes are a team that early in the season has relied heavily on producing points off turnovers, and they haven't forced those turnovers.
So Edwards to the bench, and that ovation is for the season debut of Puff Johnson. Been out with a knee issue. We talked to Hubert Davis this week. He said he's been looking good in practice. He's been looking like, well, Puff Johnson. No matter how long he's out, you get the same from him, and he checks in for the first time this year.
Really, really good start for the Tar Heels. They've totally stifled what James Madison wants to do. The Dukes have to be a little bit more patient in their half-court offense.
There's Noah Freidel. He's been a great scorer for them off the bench. South Dakota State transfer, 1 in purple. Now Morse, shadowed by Davis. Molson rejects the ball screen. Extra pass, Freidel. Back iron. Another miss from long range for James Madison. Davis pushes off the window.
You miss the long 3. Lots of times it's a rebound that kicks out, gives you an opportunity for transition.
That's a couple possessions in a row North Carolina's been able to run. Johnson matched up with Opera. Got the deflection. And Molson gets the friendly bounce, deadened on the back iron.
I don't know that you can call that a bounce. The ball just says deaden is the right word.
A plop is more
plop,
like it.
that's right.
So a couple of threes for Takel Molson. leading James Madison. Black out of the corner.
I am really impressed with North Carolina's ball movement. Even when they're dribbling, the ball's going quickly. It's going from side to side. They're making that defense work and getting wide open opportunities.
Rangers lead for him at 9. Alonzo Sule moved it. Molson. Morse. He knocks one down. So 3 triples for James Madison.
Morse is an outstanding three-point shooter. You may have noticed on the last three-point shot, he wasn't ready to let it go. He had to dribble to get himself set, and that caused him to miss it.
16 a game for Vado Morse, 2 times all-conference back in the Colonial. Johnson, good catch. Came up short. Mentioned the ball movement. Does it strike you as different for Carolina from when you saw him Tuesday?
It's crisper. You know, they're really doing a nice job moving the ball from side to side, making James Madison chase.
Right now, nearly turned it over. Force with it.
And a big part of JMU's offense is getting that dribble penetration, and North Carolina's doing a nice job covering that up.
Good catch by Nance on the feed from Davis.
That was the only place Davis could throw that ball, and he placed it perfectly. And you're right, it was a very good catch by Nance.
Couple of buckets for Pete Nance coming off his best game at the start of his North Carolina tenure. Shot was made from the outside and then a foul away from the ball as well. And it sends us to a timeout. R.J. Davis and the Heels off to a good start at home. Before the break, the foul was on Puff Johnson. 3-point shot made by Alonzo Sule for James Madison. Great to see Johnson back in there. Last spotted putting up a big performance in that national championship game.
He and Styles were very important off the bench for North Carolina.
Finish not there for Julian Wooden. With North Carolina up by 5 on James Madison early on in this first half.
James Madison has now missed all of their 2-point attempts, and it's only 3. They're 4 for 8 from beyond the arc.
Bacot driving. No dice off the window.
So far, James Madison has not been able to get out and run. They haven't created turnovers.
It's been the MO for Mark Byington's team so far the first 4 games. That includes a win over a D3 opponent by 85 points. Valley Forge, that's how they started the season. Sule can't finish with the left hand. Johnson shut off in transition. Black tried another corner 3. Bacot the offensive rebound, and a third effort will send him to the line.
Once Bacot gets himself in there, it's awfully hard to root him out. And even though he missed the first putback, he got another one. You know, Moses Malone used to do that all the time. He padded his rebounding stats. He's got one offensive rebound after another. And I'm not comparing Bacot to Moses Malone, but Bacot has been a load inside so far for JMU.
Yeah, we've had coaches through the years say, feels like he's padding his stats in there with all those offensive rebounds. 7 rebounds already for Bacot. Marco Dunn checks in for the first time for Carolina. They extend out some pressure with Seth Trimble at the head of the snake. Boy, he is fun to watch defensively so far.
He is a really skilled defensive player. He moves his feet very well, has his body under control. Boy, that's a tough pass. And that's what the North Carolina defense has forced the Dukes into, tough plays. Bacot's going to get called for an illegal screen.
First foul on Armando Bacot.
And that would have been okay if he was like leading a running back, but got to be stopped Here he just keeps moving and moves Friedel out of the way.
Crowd doesn't love it.
Well, the crowd here is not exactly the most objective judge of these things.
Morse stops on a dime and the floater rolls off. Friedel goes soaring for the offensive rebound. Can't knock it down out of the corner.
Well, Friedel is not shy about letting that three-pointer go.
Baycott got positioning and draws a foul on Friedel. So Armando Baycott has been busy so far. Heels by 7 at home. James Madison's first ever trip to Chapel Hill. They trail by 7, and they're knocking down the threes, but not finishing at the rim so far.
And they need to finish inside, Mike, and they need to drive the ball to the basket. They score an awful lot of their points from the free throw line, but North Carolina's defense has done a nice job pressuring them when they do get inside, preventing easy passes back out. And the main thing the Tar Heels have done is they haven't turned it over.
Crisp performance so far from the Heels. A lot of those hard shows on ball screens from James Madison defensively. Trimble stayed patient and close for 2.
He's got the quickness to get in there, and then he's got the strength to get the ball up through traffic.
Hubert Davis said to us this weekend he can relentlessly attack the basket with his athleticism. There's a turnover by James Madison on the Morse entry for Sule.
Again, James Madison scrambling around after trying to pressure that screen, and Trimble makes him pay for it. Just gets inside, nice little move with his left hand, but he catches the ball with his defender off balance and is able to drive right past him.
The rookie out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. From the corner, high arcing 3 for Trimble. His first collegiate make from long range.
And James Madison is in a bit of a danger zone right here. They got to get something going offensively.
Wooden off the shot fake. Nice dish, and Sule can't finish.
That's a couple of times now Sule's had the ball inside and has not been able to finish. Really bothered by that North Carolina size.
5 straight misses for the Dukes, and as you said, a precarious spot midway through this first half for James Madison. Davis on a step back. Comes up short. Dunn works hard and draws a foul. So already 2 fouls on Terrence Edwards, now 2 on Friedel, and we tell you this afternoon, a couple good women's basketball matchups right here on ACC Network and the app. Georgia Tech and Georgia. Yellow Jackets coming off the win Wednesday at Auburn, and then number 9 Notre Dame against Ball State. The Ivy's bunch unbeaten so far.
Mike, and as you're looking at trends in this game, James Madison has scored 0 points off turnovers. They come into the game scoring 30 points off turnovers. And they don't have any inside points. And they don't score a lot of inside points with back-to-the-basket power moves, but they score an awful lot of inside points driving the ball to the basket in transition, and that has not happened for them. And they have to somehow make that happen to get back in this game.
Yeah, when we talked with Hubert Davis, he was very concerned about the turnovers and the pressure that James Madison applies, and a lot of traps at times and hard shows on ball screens, but that has not been a problem for the Heels. After a split at the stripe, the lead is 13, largest it's been this afternoon for Carolina. Edwards in there with the 2 fouls, and he walks with it, and that's another turnover, the 4th one for JMU.
The North Carolina defense has been very impressive. James Madison has had a tough time getting the ball from side to side. Just great ball pressure by the Tar Heels so far.
It's an 8-0 run for Carolina. Baycott wants it. Matched up with Amati. Double team comes, and another James Madison foul.
And again, that's a foul based on some impatience. Wooden got over there, and he had the double team set. And you don't reach for the ball in that situation unless Baycott is going to dribble it. If a guy like Baycott is going to hold that ball, almost never is the defensive player going to get away with reaching in and grabbing there.
Love and Black return for Carolina. Passing out of double teams, you think Bacot might be a little better than he's given credit for?
Yeah, I do. The problem is a lot of people elect to not try to double team Bacot. I think, you know, Bacot, you look at his numbers, he doesn't have a lot of assists, but his job isn't to pass the ball. When he catches it inside, he's supposed to put it in the basket. But he can pass the ball. I don't think there's anything wrong with his skill.
He's had a very active start to this one. 7 points, 7 rebounds for Armando Bacot. Scoreless drought is approaching 4 minutes for James Madison. 4 of 15 shooting. They're all made from deep. Here's Edwards. Olsen draws a foul on Caleb Love. Only 3 points from Vado Morse, top scorer about 16 a game. Friedel has been instant offense for James Madison, but he's on the bench with his 2 fouls.
Right, but the problem, again, you're going to get those threes by penetration inside the lane with the pass or the dribble.
One in with a 3. 5th one for James Madison, keeping them afloat.
And that's the way they've had their offense. There was no penetration there. They didn't get into the lane. Heck, they didn't even get inside the three-point line, but they made a long 3.
Nance from the corner.
You know, it's fine when you're making a lot of threes, but when your opponent is making the same number, you got a problem.
Yeah, the Heels with 4 of them themselves. 4 of 9 from deep. Edwards off the rim, rebound Leaky Black. Davis on the hit ahead.
Every time the Dukes take a 2-point shot, it's highly contested.
Bacot swatted that one a lot, but into the arms of Wooden. On the back tap, last touch by Love. Feels like Pete Nance found something on Tuesday.
Well, he's just got to blend in. He's got to find his role, and part of the thing they want him to do is shoot the 3. He's been a good 3-point shooter throughout his career. You just move without the basketball and be ready when you catch it.
Friedel back in there with his 2 fouls, spinning on Black. And now Wooden, veteran 4th-year player. That rolls off the rim from in tight.
Now, Mike, you might be saying, well, they're getting a lot of shots really close to the basket, and they are. But if you look, the North Carolina defense is contesting every one of those shots. You're trying to get it up over Armando Bacot. You're trying to get it up over Pete Nance. JMU now 0 for 8 from 2, 5 for 10 from beyond the arc. But the reason they've missed all their 2-point shots is because the North Carolina defense has applied such great pressure.
Nothing has come easily for James Madison offensively. Davis moves it for Love. Back to Davis. Rebound Bacot again. He's been a monster on the glass. Kept alive and secured by Molson. Off the bounce out, Davis. Tough shot again for James Madison.
It was in transition. They want to be in transition, but that's a great job.
Love turns it over. Xavier Brown finishes at the rim. The freshman just into the game off the bench for the Dukes.
And even that shot wasn't an easy shot. That was a nice job by Davis getting back. But that's what James Madison wants to do. Of course, everybody wants to steal the ball and get away up right there. Their offense is based on that.
Skip for Davis. Knocks it down. Fifth 3, Davis has 7. Friedel, step back, off target, rebound Nance. It's a +12 rebounding advantage for Carolina so far. Ooh, Bacot. Blocking foul is called. Well, the 3-pointers falling for North Carolina as well. R.J. Davis and the Heels in control in the first half. Number 1 North Carolina up by 16 on James Madison, off to a 4-0 start. We talked about the turnovers James Madison has created so far this year and the rebounding margin, and those two have not gone the same way so far.
James Madison comes in scoring 30 points a game off turnovers. They only have 2 today, and they come in with a rebounding margin of a plus 18.5, and they're being out-rebounded 19-7 so far today. More importantly, I think for JMU, they make more free throws than their opponents attempt, and they have not been to the line yet. North Carolina's done a great job pushing them to the perimeter and then not fouling when they drive.
Whereas at the other end, it feels like Armando Bacot has lived at the line.
But again, Bacot has such an advantage over the JMU players. Tallest guy out there is 6'8".
He's got 9 rebounds. That has already matched a season high in the first 13 minutes. Offering a tough shot, falling away. One of the transfers added to Mark Byington's team. He is pure energy.
And here's some pressure now.
Davis escapes it. Nickel, too strong from the corner.
And there were 3 guys blocking Bacot.
Seems like a wise move.
As many as you need.
Offering, bodying with the freshman Tyler Nickel, and another turnover. Love on the push. Offensive foul. Caleb Love, second foul here in the first half.
It's really a good job by Molson to move his feet and get set. You got to be set before the guy leaves the floor, and he certainly was. And he's just outside the restricted area.
Molson forces Love to the bench, replaced by Seth Trimble.
Now again, this is a 14-point deficit for JMU, but we talked about their ability to put points on the board, so they've got to tighten it up on the defensive end, and they've got to make shots. They got to get better shots, but they've made a couple of tough ones, and if that's the only way you can do it, then that's what you have to do, is make tough ones.
Molson kicks out for Sule. Bacot didn't bite, and Sule finishes anyway.
That's a really nice play, because again, that was not an easy shot.
Davis back quickly with an answer.
North Carolina's going to be a hard team to pressure when you've got guys like Love and Davis and Trimble who can handle the ball. They're just looking to push it up and beat that pressure. If you beat the pressure, generally you're going to get an open look.
RJ Davis, 9 points, doesn't have a turnover here in the first half. Molson spinning past Black, it rolls off the rim, and Bacot's got 10 rebounds already here in the first half.
It's going to be hard to make a living on offense trying to beat Leaky Black off the dribble.
No leaks. The NIL headline was. Molson out the turnover, leads Morse, and a foul is on the floor, drawn by Vado Morse. Hey, our Monday college basketball doubleheader. Dan will find his way to Tallahassee for Florida State and Mercer at the Tucker Center, and then down the road, number 7 Duke against Bellarmine at Cameron, both right here on ACCN and the app.
Boy, Bellarmine making the tour through the ACC. They had a win over Louisville. They lost to Clemson.
Yeah, you saw that Louisville game. They're mighty impressive. Sule can't hit from 3. Trimble attacks.
Look at this.
Sule the rebound. Seth Trimble is jet quick. Friedel, quick trigger. That misses, but tapped back out by Offram.
I think that's the definition for Friedel. Quick trigger.
Yeah, Mark Byington was telling us pregame that he shot 40% from 3 last year, and that was with some bad shots, as head coach said. Molson is stripped by Trimble.
There's just no getting all the way to the basket.
Davis is blocked. Alonzo Sule climbed up with him. Friedel again. This is from deep.
And JMU will take that shot every time. Open 3 in transition.
A great pass. Davis for Bacot.
It was an outstanding pass, Mike, but Bacot, what a great job running the court. That pass doesn't happen unless Bacot gets out ahead of the crowd.
Great hands from the big man. He's got 9 points to go along with those 10 rebounds. Offram on Nance. Back out Sule. 10 to shoot.
Way too much one-on-one so far for James Madison, but the defense has forced him into that.
Olsen blocked by Bacot. Olsen got to the loose ball and finishes on the baseline.
You know, if you have to work that hard for a basket, it's going to be a long day.
With 3:17 to go. Carolina doing it on both ends. R.J. Davis was blocked by Sule. And look at that. Into a tight window for Bacot, having a big first half. Armando Bacot has nearly out-rebounded James Madison by himself in this first half, and he's 1 point away from what would be career double-double, 50 in his first of the season.
He's really been impressive. You know, we've talked about his ability to run the court. He's got those 9 points and 10 rebounds, but he's also got a steal. He's got a blocked shot. He's been fouled 5 times.
He has been active throughout this first half as Carolina breaks the pressure from James Madison. Coming up on 3 to go until halftime with the Heels ahead 37-23.
James Madison switching screens, and that creates some mismatches for Bacot.
He is spinning on Wooden, took a lot of contact and finished anyway.
You know, Bacot has gotten so much better at that. Earlier in his career, he would try to make that move, but lose the ball. I figure that big guy's dribbling down, you ought to be able to take it, or take a charge or something, but no.
Edwards missed it, falling away from Trimble. Davis the trailer. And the rebound cleared by Amati. Edwards drives and wave it off. It's an offensive foul, and that is the 3rd foul here in the first half on Terrence Edwards.
This is a situation where Edwards had a guy open on the other side and just never looked. He's trying to make a play himself. And North Carolina, one of the other things they've done really well is they know JMU wants to run. They've been very effective getting back in transition. That's now the 8th turnover for James Madison.
Edwards,
excuse me, 7.
Yeah. Edwards, a guy who Mark Byington told us pregame is their Swiss Army knife. He's been really efficient so far this season. Redshirt sophomore just has not been able to get going amid the foul trouble here in the first half in Chapel Hill.
When you get out there, you feel like I got to make a play because your team is struggling a little bit.
Trimble is called for an offensive foul. And that's 2 fouls on Seth Trimble.
We've seen Trimble do a great job getting into the lane. And it's what you have to understand is you have to be, if you're the defensive player, you have to have both feet on the floor facing the dribbler, but facing the dribbler in any direction. You don't necessarily have to be in front of him. And that time Trimble got called for the charging foul because he took that left shoulder and plowed it into his defender who was on his side. Defender doesn't have to be in front of him.
Moore spins one out, and the tip almost went for the Dukes. Diving on the floor for the loose ball. Well done by Wooden. Morris way off target, and he is 1 of 7 from the floor here in the first half.
This is a guy who comes in shooting 52% from beyond the arc.
DeMarco Dunn left alone. Six makes from deep for North Carolina.
This defense continues to just be smothering. No place to go with the ball. A lot of standing around for the Dukes at the moment.
Wooden try to spin past Black, and Wooden draws a foul on the drive. Hey, this afternoon, women's basketball doubleheader for you right here on ACC Network and the app. 2 Eastern, it's Georgia Tech from McCamish Pavilion, and then number 9 Notre Dame hosting Ball State out in South Bend. I mentioned free throws, and James Madison's had a lot of them so far in the first 4 games. First trip to the free throw line for the Dukes.
There's under a minute left in the first half, and I think that's a testament to how well North Carolina has played defensively, particularly with their pressure on the ball. Remember, this is a team that comes in averaging 105 points a game, and they're not 24.
Second best scoring mark in the country, just fractionally behind Arizona. They have the highest scoring margin of anyone in the country so far in these first couple of weeks.
Now, of course, this is a huge step up in terms of level of competition, but North Carolina has just smothered it.
Game so far for James Madison, Valley Forge until the D3 team, Hampton, Buffalo, and Howard most recently. Step back.
So they're making easy shots, they're making tough shots. North Carolina fire on all cylinders in this first half.
What a first half for R.J. Davis with a dozen to go along with 4 assists. Not a second difference between game and shot clocks here at the end of the first half. Offering matched up with Davis. Off the cross, baseline dish for Amati. And that's how we head to halftime. North Carolina with a 45-26 lead, and maybe their best half of basketball all season.
Well, certainly on both ends of the court, and they did it for the entire 20 minutes, and against a very good James Madison team.
Double-double from Armando Bacot in the first half with 11 points and 11 rebounds, but R.J. Davis leads the way with 12, including a couple of threes for the Heels.
Welcome into this ACC Network halftime report alongside Luke Hancock. I'm Kelsey Riggs. Hope you've enjoyed the first half of this game so far. Knew it was going to be a good season, Luke, when we got to talk to coaches and players at the ACC basketball tip-off this year and had a ton of fun there. Take a look back at some of the best from ACC tip-off.
Good morning. How we doing, guys? ACC men's basketball tip-off starts now, goes all day long. We ready?
Let's do it. I've already had a couple days where I'm there thinking about for 2 hours what the best thing to do is for the next day.
Handwriting it or you typing it?
I'm typing it.
Type everything.
I'm typing it now.
I don't get the handwritten practice here.
Tell Coach, we're typing now. We got
Irrational fear.
Water, just like ocean, and you don't know what's in it.
What about you, Caleb? Anything?
Snakes.
Snakes?
I don't understand them. Like,
yeah.
It don't make sense how they move.
No.
They have no legs.
They're unpredictable.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
What was the bottom line there?
Maui Invitational.
What else do you need to look forward to?
Yeah.
Maui.
Need anybody else, a former alum to go with you, former MOP, he'll go.
Everybody's timetable is different. Warren Buffett's still doing pretty well. What he does. I try to tell people, I'm not running, I'm not jumping, I don't have to do any of that.
We got a little game that we're gonna do. Wherever this wheel lands, we're gonna need one of you guys to do what the wheel says.
Is it Play-Doh? What is that? Oh, is this honey?
Your best impression of Mike Young.
He just sits there like 5
He looks at
minutes.
the stat sheet.
Pause for
Pause it.
We need a Josh Pastner impression from the guy.
Okay, I got you right here.
Yes.
So we're watching film, and this is Coach. Kyle, look at you. You know more ready to play than the man on the moon.
You've been with Coach Ford for a long time.
I know, yeah. Jamie, I know you got something.
All the Coach Ford's impression not safe for work.
How we feeling today, Dane? Stay loose, yeah? Why don't you come on over, man? Come on over. Keep shooting that ball, all right, buddy? All right? All right, tough guy, yeah. Just, stay loose. I like that smile on your face, the little pearly whites.
We had Joel doing the gritty last year. We needed a dance for him. Nobody's got one.
Gritty. Hey, the gritty.
The gritty?
I gotta do the gritty.
Okay, we're ready, Makai. Hey. Oh man, now that everybody hopes that they never have to hear me laugh again after that, we've got some characters here in the ACC men's basketball conference. And you take a look at the ACC predicted order of finish. North Carolina predicted to finish on top, followed by Duke, Virginia, then Miami and Florida State. But anything can happen. It is early in the season, and expectations for this league are high, especially if you ask Luke Hancock. So let's start with that right there, Luke. The ACC coming into this season, I think, getting a little bit more respect. But what are your expectations for the league this year?
Well, they certainly deserve more respect. We know what the ACC did in the NCAA tournament with everything on the line at the end of last season. It's time to carry that forward into this season. And everybody's talked about Duke, Carolina, Virginia's gotten a lot of love with everybody they bring back. But what I think is most impressive about the ACC is that second tier. You think about some of the backcourts in this league and how strong they are. So many contenders in the glob, or the blob as Packer and Durham used to call it. It's NC State, Miami, it's Notre Dame, it's Virginia Tech. There are so many high-profile scoring punches, veteran guards mixed with young talent. This league is very strong, and that second tier, being much stronger than last year, is what's going to make the ACC handle business this early non-conference slate.
You mentioned the backcourts and how good some of them are. Hard to pick the top backcourt in the ACC this year because there is a ton of talent. Luke, you're talking about that second tier of ACC teams. So give me a couple of teams right now, maybe in that second tier, that you think could really challenge Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, the favorites at the beginning of this season.
I'll probably have three for you. I'll start with Miami. Isaiah Wong and Nigel Pack coming in here after Miami's Elite Eight run. They got to have a ton of confidence. Virginia Tech, after an ACC championship. Hunter Couture, the Everett Case Award winner, plus Sean Pajula looks like he's about 30 pounds heavier. They look fantastic. And then the ultimate pairing of young talent with the veteran presence. Guys like Dane Goodwin and Cormac Ryan mixed with J.J. Starling over there in South Bend. There's a lot of contenders, but you're right. Great backcourts in this league that are going to propel the ACC.
How can you pick your favorite when there's this many that have been good so far this season?
Tough job.
High expectations. And you'll get much more of this right here on ACC PM weekdays right here on ACC Network. Taylor, Trey, and Pack hold it down starting at 4 o'clock every day, weekday right here on ACC Network. For Luke Hancock, I'm Kelsey Riggs. Enjoy the second half.
The dummy segment, by the way, was... It is halftime here in Chapel Hill between Carolina and James Madison. When we come back, we'll get you some highlights and some stats and then second half action on the way between the Heels and the Dukes. Back in Chapel Hill, best half of the season for North Carolina, the #1 team in the country, leading James Madison at the break. Dan Bonner, Mike Monaco back here with you. And look, after Tuesday's game for North Carolina, Hubert Davis said R.J. Davis, the heart and soul of this team, and he was really good in this first half.
Well, he was really good in the first half. In fact, the entire Carolina team was. They were very efficient and very effective, and that certainly sums up Davis. He did a great job moving the ball around. He had 4 assists in the first half. North Carolina made 7 threes in the first half. 6 different guys made a 3, and R.J. Davis made 2 of them. Just a great pass right there to Armando Bacot. So they've been able to get out in transition. James Madison wanted to get out in transition, but they weren't really able to do it. And one of the reasons the Tar Heels were able to do it was because R.J. Davis led the way.
So the numbers from the first 20 minutes. North Carolina holds James Madison to below 30% shooting from the floor. And we said this early on, all the makes for James Madison were coming from 3. And Armando Bacot with a first half double-double. 11 points, 11 rebounds, the 50th of his career.
Keep in mind, this is a JMU team that comes in shooting 59% from the field, and they shot 20% from 2. They just weren't able to get the ball to the basket. And when they did get it inside, the North Carolina length, I think, really bothered them.
The shots they did get, do you think Mark Byington will be happy with the ones they got?
Well, I'm not sure that he'd be happy with the shots that they got, but it looked like those were the only shots they could get. A lot of that had to do with North Carolina's defense. And again, you see, they miss a shot. You say, well, he missed the layup. Well, he's trying to get it over Armando Bacot.
At 6'11", Vado Morse could not, so he's now 1 of 8 shooting from the floor. The leading scorer for James Madison held the 3 points. How about a first half in which Caleb Love only took 2 shots? Carolina was just flowing everywhere else. Nance spinning, left it short with the right hand.
Love also picked up 2 fouls in the first half, and so the way everything was running, Hubert Davis didn't feel the need to risk the third.
Puck Johnson back. Carolina gets deeper. As Offerham scores with the left hand. The 5th-year senior now in his 3rd school.
And you can see JMU coming out of the locker room, they appear that they're going to be committed to driving that ball to the basket, putting the pressure on North Carolina.
There's 2 possessions. It's been Morse and then Offerham. Love draws a foul.
Terrence Edwards on the
4th foul on Terrence Edwards.
This is really a nice job by Love to split this double team. They're trying to come, and Edwards just doesn't get there in time. Very frustrating afternoon so far for that young man.
Only played 9 minutes with the foul trouble. Nance off the skip from Davis, and the rebound to Kel Molson.
So I think the Dukes have to really push it when they get a rebound.
Molson does. Friedel still drive from the corner, but the putback for Mezzi Offerham.
Friedel now 0 for 6 from beyond the arc, and JMU is going to struggle if he can't make a 3.
Dukes trying to inject some life with their bench, but Davis on another step back like he had in the first half.
Molson did an outstanding job blocking out Nance.
Friedel bounces for Amati, who locks the handle on the way up, and it's turnover number 8 for the Dukes.
Now, when you see number 5 coming at you, that might be one of the reasons why he lost the handle.
So the margin 15, first couple of minutes here out of halftime. Offerham switches on to Black, who moves it for Love. Love, jab step on the baseline drive with a left hand.
Well, he is so good when he gets going to the basket.
5 points for Caleb Love, 7 away from 1,000 for his career. Molson on the handoff, shut off by Love. Morse, tough shot on Davis.
How many times have you said that today, Mike? Tough shot, and that's what the North Carolina defense has created. And now this is not an easy shot here. He gets by 2 guys with a really nice crossover, sort of a Euro step going away from the basket.
He had the Euro step the other day that got one of those patented yells from you. This is the best. Molson with a 3. He was the Kickstarter offensively in the first half, and Kel Molson's into double figures with 11.
You got to get some stops if you're JMU.
Back iron, and it goes back to James Madison getting that stop.
North Carolina was so sharp in that first half. You wonder if they can maintain that momentum coming out of the locker room. Of course, it's always frustrating for a coach if you sort of back off a little bit at the start of the second half after you've been so good in the first.
Hubert Davis talked post-game Tuesday about wanting to see a hunger and a thirst. Well, certainly saw it in the first half here this afternoon. Molson on the scoop with the left hand. That was pretty.
But again, another really, really difficult shot.
13 for Molson, and then he picks off the pass from Davis. 12-point game, and James Madison can inch closer. Molson with an opening, and he draws a foul. It's on Leaky Black, and Kel Molson's been big today.
Well, he drives the ball to the basket. You know, this is, you know, that's a horse shot right there, you know. That'll get you a couple of letters. And he saw the opening again after making that last shot. He was going to give it another go, but got fouled.
Morse from the corner. He knocks it down. So now Votto Morse gets involved.
Well, that's really a nice job by Morse to go find the open spot.
It's down to single digits for James Madison. Nance hits the deck. Baycott driving, and a blocking foul is called. It's on Molson. Well, an 8-0 run for James Madison. Molson started it. Morse getting involved for the Dukes on the road against number 1. Carolina and James Madison meeting for the 4th time all-time and for the first time since 1989. What was going on back in 1989? Most popular songs, TV shows, famous people who were born then. And Dan Bonner, you were right here calling ACC basketball games.
Well, 1989 doesn't seem like that long a time ago, and I was calling basketball games with that guy right there, Marty Brenneman. Of course, longtime Cincinnati Reds announcer, Hall of Fame baseball announcer, graduate of the University of North Carolina, and worked ACC basketball games for many, many years.
Nance trying to break the rim, came up short in the first 4+ minutes of the second half. Yeah, great to see him here taking this in on a Sunday afternoon. Amati on the cut, and he draws a foul. So it's a 12-2 run out of halftime for James Madison.
Well, Nance here has the opportunity and just doesn't get the ball to the basket on the dunk attempt. And what you're seeing from James Madison now on offense, they're able to beat the pressure out on the perimeter and get into the lane.
Roddy misses on the first. Tomorrow, college basketball doubleheader will start in Tallahassee with Florida State hosting Mercer, and then in Durham, number 7 Duke against Bellarmine. Blue Devils coming off the win Friday against Delaware, in which Tariq Whitehead made his collegiate debut. Well, big misses there from Amati at the stripe.
Amati is not a very good free throw shooter, coming in at less than 50%. And boy, you really want to have those if you're trying to make a comeback.
James Madison has a team 1-4 now at the free throw line. Love wants some space from Nance, but it's an offensive foul, and that's foul number 3 on Caleb Love.
Molson did a nice job moving his feet and drawing the charge. The last time Molson tried to draw a charge, he tried to draw a charge from Baycott. So that time he didn't get hit quite as hard, but he got the charging foul against Love.
Molson has been huge for James Madison so far in this one.
But still plenty of time for the Dukes.
Down by 9. Offering. Kicks to a cutting Friedel. He can't finish in close, and Baycott towers over him to clear it.
I didn't know whether Baycott was going to grab the ball or Friedel's head.
Love no. Baycott another rebound. Armando Baycott with 13 rebounds. He's going back to the free throw line.
Again, Friedel against big pressure, and Baycott tips it twice before he gets it. And Friedel's very lucky he didn't get hurt.
That is a look that says, get off.
Yeah, get out of here. And don't come back.
And Armando is good on the first. 12 points, 13 rebounds for the native of Richmond, Virginia. Good on both.
North Carolina with the pressure again. They really did a nice job in the first half pressuring the basketball.
Davis up on Morse. Pretty quick to hoist early in the possession, and another Baycott rebound. Carolina wants to run. Davis in transition, and he is bumped and draws a foul. Second foul on Molson.
Baycott did such a great job running down the rebound, and that gives Davis the opportunity to get out and get going. Forced that one a little bit, but he was looking to draw the defense and make the pass, and he drew a foul.
Oh, behind the Nance screen, got a switch, and wide left. Nance battling for the offensive rebound, but he was out of bounds on the baseline.
That's a break for JMU right there. Molson didn't block him out, gave Nance a free run to the basket, but Nance couldn't get his balance once he got the ball.
What do you want to see from James Madison? You said they've been attacking more with the drive.
Well, you can attack with the drive, but you also got to keep the ball moving. It's the easiest guy to guard out there is the guy who's just dribbling the ball. You got to attack with that dribble, and then they tried, but they were cut off.
There's a lot of dribbling from Morse there. 10 to shoot. Offram driving on Baycott. Offram with the left hand. Good finish for the fifth-year senior. Transfers in from Mount St. Mary's.
It's a really good play, a tough shot, but you notice North Carolina's not going to help Baycott in that situation.
Lengthy drought without a made bucket for North Carolina. Doesn't end. Offram the rebound. Dukes with numbers. Morse a transition three. Missed the mark, but an offensive rebound Offram. Friedel can't connect. And a foul on James Madison away from the ball on the rebounding action as James Madison just could not punch it home.
They had a couple of opportunities, and Friedel in particular, he's now 0 for 7 from beyond the arc.
It's a guy who has shot it at 40% from three for his career. Spent 3 years at South Dakota State. He went for 23 on Tuesday in the win at Howard and made 5 threes.
That's a big opportunity missed right there by James Madison. They had an open look from three. They could have cut it to 6. Now let's see if they can turn up the defensive pressure.
Morris goes to the bench, 2 of 12 shooting for the leading scorer for James Madison. And the foul for the Dukes, by the way, was on Molson. So that's 3 on the veteran for JMU. Nance goes to work on Molson and scores.
Again, Nance with a substantial height advantage in there. Just nothing Molson can do. He's 6'4". Nance is 6'11".
Spraying those long arms against Wooden, who scores anyway. 9-point margin, 12.5 to go here in the second half. Pick and roll, Baycott. Bounces into some traffic and a held ball. The Arrow will keep it with Carolina at this end.
You know, was that Xavier Brown who went in there and risked life and limb to grab that ball? It's really a nice help play.
Yeah, 0 in purple. Xavier Brown, the freshman from Williamsburg, Virginia. Been pretty impressive so far in his career. Baycott with the left hand.
Speaking of impressive, you know, Baycott at one point in his career, if he had to dribble the ball that far, he was in trouble, but that was really a nice job dribbling the ball through traffic.
He's got 15. Molson looking for an opening around Love, who clears the rebound. Love in attack mode with a floater, and he draws a foul. Armando Baycott having his way with James Madison. They have not had answers for the All-American big man here in Chapel Hill. 11-point lead for North Carolina against James Madison. And it's first year in the Sun Belt, keeping up with the conferences. You got to play it all the time in college athletics. Some of the newcomers to the Sun Belt, including James Madison, officially joined in July. They'd been in the Colonial since 1985 and spread out on the map.
Well, it is spread out on the map, and keep in mind that James Madison, they're not a team, and nobody in the Sun Belt is a team that travels to these games by charter flight. You got to fly commercial, and not very many of those spots are easy to get to from Harrisonburg, Virginia. So it's going to be Mark Byington's very aware of that he's got to find time for his players to rest, and it's going to be difficult keeping everybody sharp with a schedule like that.
14 teams in the conference. James Madison picked 4th by the coaches in the preseason behind Louisiana, Texas State, and South Alabama. Wooden with a miss at the rim, and Carolina runs. Trimble, little head fake, didn't tempt Wooden. Baycott wants it, he's matched up with Sule.
North Carolina only 3 for 11 shooting in the second half.
Leaky Black. And the rebound to Brown. Friedel. Hoyce comes up empty again. He's now 0 for 10 from the floor and 0 for 8 from 3.
Now, he didn't have to score 23 every night for JMU to be successful, but they're going to have a hard time winning games, particularly on the road against tough competition when he's 0 for 8 from beyond the arc.
He is fearless offensively, in the words of his head coach. Trimble drives to the paint. Tough shot doesn't go, and Leaky Black stays active for the offensive rebound. Black attacks, hit and finishes. Wooden driving on Puck Johnson with the finish plus the foul for Julian Wooden.
Well, we just saw Leaky Black miss a tough three-point shot, and you don't really like Leaky Black to take tough threes, but you like him doing this. Just a really nice job driving the ball to the basket. He is, you know, when you see him out on the court, he is so big. He looks like he's playing guards against guards defensively. You think, well, okay, he's guard side, but he's about 6'9".
And extended all of that frame with the finish.
Yes, he did.
Wooden can't stamp the three-point play. The lead is 13 for the Heels midway through the second half. Johnson with a handoff for Black. Switch from Wooden. Shot clock below 10. Love rises. Can't hit. And a rebound pulled down by Edwards and Wooden. Edwards playing with 4 fouls with 10 to go.
Just haven't seen much in terms of transition opportunities for James Madison today.
Yeah, you're right. Carolina's been back every time. Sule muscling on Johnson. Carving out space and finishing with a flex to boot.
You know, maybe you shouldn't be flexing when you're down 11, but that's an old guy talking.
Well, Edwards has fouled out with 9:38 to go. Mark Byington went to him, and now Edwards will depart, having played just 10 minutes in this game.
He's played 10 minutes. He hasn't made a shot. He's only attempted 2, and he's their second leading scorer. Comes in averaging almost 14 points a game.
Hey, our next All Access, the ACC Life, premieres tonight. It features Virginia women's soccer, Louisville volleyball, and Syracuse men's soccer. You get unprecedented access into the lives of the student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, fans, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Seth Trimble to the line for the 1-and-1 for North Carolina. Misses on the front end, but another big time rebound is not to be. He pushed up, gets down with the second foul.
Baycott was quick to that ball. That's one of those things when you're moving in and the ball goes behind you, you tend to throw out that front arm while you reach behind with the back arm. And so when the official sees that arm, that front arm go out there, it's going to be a foul every time.
Trimble is on Molson. Stays right with him on the crossover. And Trimble bumps him. Molson was fouled on the floor. No bucket for Kel Molson. That's 3 on Trimble.
Well, Molson's got his head down. This is strictly a one-on-one situation. And one of the things I think that James Madison, when they look at the tape of this game, when guys are driving the ball to the basket, the guys who are on the outside just are sort of standing there. They're not getting into position where they can get a shot.
Morse on a baseline drive, plus the foul for Vado Morse.
Boy, Morse has shown some flashes here today, hasn't he? A really nice job getting by, and then he's got to get it up over Baycott. The foul coming from Davis, reaching around on the side.
Well, you knew it would be a matter of time for Vado Morse. About 16 a game. Guy who had 22 at Buffalo, 17 at Howard last time out. Knocked down 4 threes after halftime. More than 1,500 points for his career, and he has pulled James Madison to within 8 with over 9 to go.
They're not going away, are they?
Trimble. Looking for somewhere to go, slipped it to Nance.
That was really close to a 3-second violation.
Davis swirls it out, rebound to Motti, and the Dukes can pull closer.
On offense, the North Carolina ball movement and player movement just has not been as sharp here in the second half.
Olsen misses from the baseline.
That's a tough shot. I think you can get a better one than that. It's early in the shot clock, and I know you want to play quickly.
Baycott spinning. Left it short. Can't get it on the follow. Now a third effort. And Armando Baycott draws a foul.
They have had absolutely no answer for him inside. This is a good cut down the lane. I'm surprised he missed the first one, but he stays after it. They just can't keep him from going up for the ball. And Wooden's mistake right there is he tried to hit the ball away from Baycott while Baycott was holding it. You got to wait for him to dribble to go after it.
Baycott misses the front end, and Leaky Black keeps it alive into the arms of Trimble. And rebounds for Leaky Black here in this one. Shot clock at 5. Davis with the floater on the baseline.
For JMU, they had a real good opportunity to get a stop there, and they weren't able to do it.
They got the front end miss, but Carolina turns it into points. The lead is 10. Morse, tough shot short, Black the rebound. Davis off the bounce. And a foul away from the ball as Baycott was jockeying with Justin Amati, who gets in for the foul. 10-point game, 8 to go in Chapel Hill.
East Plumbing can and will dominate anything leaky.
And no questions about it.
Dominate anything leaky, you said? Well, check up then.
East Plumbing, anything leaky we can handle.
Almost anything.
No leaks in this house.
Shouts to East Plumbing, where we sometimes discuss Leaky Black.
That's all part of the new NIL world, but that's classic. And speaking of Leaky Black, he's got 10 rebounds in the game today, which means with Baycott's 18, Black has 10. That means between the two of them, they have 28 rebounds. James Madison only has 29.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff from Leaky Black, doing a little bit of everything.
Well, it's got a couple
marks for creativity.
Well, that's just high marks for creativity. The marketing people in that plumbing company, you know, you've got a guy named Leaky. Why not?
Straight on 3, draws back iron for Molson. Lead a dozen for Carolina. 7.5 to go. Long short. Baycott another rebound. Baycott the putback. He's been a monster.
That's 19 rebounds in the game.
quickly back the other way. Black commits a foul on Justin Amati.
But Baycott has been alert. He just does such a great job running to position. You know, when guys get a lot of rebounds, you say, well, you know, he's a big guy and everything, but you don't do that unless you know how to get position under the basket. And he does a great job finding where the rebound is. You know, he chases him down, but he puts himself in a spot to get it in the first place.
He's got all those to go along with 19 points, 19 rebounds. His career high, by the way, 22.
Well, we've still got more than 7 minutes left in the game.
But a new one coming. There's rebound number 20. Kicked away. Davis pass. 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go. JMU down 13.
You know, keep in mind, earlier in the half, JMU missed a 3 with an opportunity to cut it to 6. They got it to 8 a couple more times, but just North Carolina has been able to respond every time the game has gotten a little bit tight.
Lead has been as large as 21 for the Heels. Baycott. Offensive foul. Third foul on Baycott.
Well, Baycott's mistake right here is he turns his side to the defender. Right there, he's perpendicular, if you will, to the defender, and then when he lowers that shoulder, that's automatic for the official. Now, if he does it with his back to the player, then that's a different story, but officials, that's one of the points of emphasis this year. When that player turns so they're perpendicular and plants that shoulder in the chest, that's going to be a charge every time.
Defended by Justin Amati, who's given up 3 inches to Baycott. Tough pass from Molson. Skittered over to Offram. Working on Nance. Now Morse. 5 to shoot. Molson's got it. Molson rises. Can't hit. Davis the rebound.
That's really good defensive sequence.
Davis driving and finishing out the window.
And North Carolina has really done a nice job getting the ball up the court quickly after rebounds.
Morse did the same, but missed it for the Dukes. Davis comes back quickly again for Carolina. Feeling good with 16 points this afternoon for the Heels. Baseline fall away off the top of the backboard, and then Nance commits a foul on the rebounding action.
Again, the defense does not have an opportunity to get set, and that is a really difficult shot as well. The defense wasn't set, but my heavens, he went into traffic.
We'll get a timeout with 6 to go. We'll take it as well. Right back to Chapel Hill after this. Back in Chapel Hill, some notable games involving the ACC in the days ahead. Virginia Tech, Charleston today. Syracuse, Richmond tomorrow. North Carolina is going to be out in Portland later on this week. Dr. Dan Bonner, explain to us why out-of-conference games for the ACC are so vital.
Well, everybody talks about the NCAA's net, and you know, that's the evaluation tool that's used for teams. And your net doesn't get you into the NCAA tournament or keep you out, but what it does is it sets a quad 1 game is when you play a team, if it's a home game, a team that's ranked 1 through 30. And if you win that game, that's a quad 1 game. And the important thing is that the ACC didn't have last year. The only quad 1 team that they had was Duke for most of the season. And as the regular season and the conference went on, there was a lot of games involving quad 3 teams, and you just can't improve your NCAA tournament resume if you're playing quad 3 teams all the time. So it's not just North Carolina, it's not one team, but the teams in the conference as a whole have to perform well in November and December. So when you get into conference play and they start beating one another up, which happens all the time, everybody's saying, well, it's just, they're not saying what's mediocre teams beating one another up, it's good teams beating one another up.
Well, his floater doesn't go. It's why Virginia's win on Friday was so big for this conference.
It was. It was a game against the number 5 team in the country. And I will tell you that Virginia Tech's win against a very good Old Dominion team was an important win for the ACC as well.
Fourth foul on Armando Bacon with 5.5 to go.
You know, the last couple of years, the Big Ten has gotten an awful lot of teams in the NCAA tournament, and that's because they have done what they need to do in the non-conference part of the season, and that is win the games you're supposed to win and win a representative number of those competitive games, the kind of games we just had up there for the ACC teams. And if you do that, then most of your teams in the league are quad 1 and quad 2 teams, so you don't really hurt yourself by losing a conference game.
Another big opportunity for Virginia today, 3 o'clock Eastern in Vegas over on ESPN against number 19 Illinois. Speaking of the Big Ten, Bacon went to the bench with his 4 fouls. Now Justin Amati picks up his second.
Well, you talk about that Virginia Baylor game. It was very interesting reading what Tony Bennett said about it. Of course, Virginia shot the ball very well, jumped out to the big lead. And Tony Bennett acknowledged that and said, wow, we just couldn't stop him. You know, you beat a really good offensive team, the number 5 team in the country. And Tony's, we just couldn't stop him at the end. So that's one of the reasons why their defense is so good. They want to do it all the time.
Par for the course in Charlottesville.
Absolutely.
Armand Franklin was massive for the Hoos in that one. 17 for Davis, the lead 13 for the Heels. Julian Wooden matched up with Black, gives it off to Friedel. Hounded by Love. 10 to shoot. Wooden driving on Black. Forced into a tough shot, and he got hit on the arm at the end of it. Foul on Leaky Black, his 3rd. Hey, ACC PM with Pack, Trey, and Taylor. We'll talk football. Also, the latest from around the conference, weekdays 4 Eastern, right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Wooden to the line, 67% for his career. And he misses the first. It's 6 of 13 free throw shooting for James Madison.
Well, the game has been a little herky-jerky here in the second half, and for the Tar Heels, it's hard to play as well as they played in that first half. They haven't made a 3 in the second half. Their offense was really rolling. They made 7 threes in the first half. They made none in the second half.
Well, we got 21 points since halftime in the first 15 minutes here. They've been outscored by 7 since the break by James Madison. Davis kicks to the corner. Johnson for 3. His first points of the season. Morse cannot answer. Love the rebound. Carolina in control and then poked away by Offram, but secured by Davis. Vance with the size advantage on Morse. Double team comes. Davis thought about a deep one. Davis drives and finishes. And Davis still down.
Davis is down in a heap
behind the play. Now rises to his feet very slowly. Morse will go to the free throw line, and the attention will turn to R.J. Davis, up and walking after he got knocked down after the bucket. Like just hit on the head. Good to see that Davis looks to be all right. Fourth game of the season for the number 1 team in the country. Hubert Davis wanted to see a hunger and a thirst after the win on Tuesday. What do you make of where Carolina is 4 games in?
You know, they're trying to piece things together, and I think that they had a really good first half and had a lot of positive signs there. It's also probably makes Hubert Davis feel very good that Puff Johnson got in the game and made a 3. And you know, again, you're trying to put things together, and you've got guys who you're going to count on who aren't available. When Puff Johnson comes back, that means they have to adjust what they're doing. I think Trimble has played pretty well. I think Nickel has shown that he's got some skills. And so Hubert Davis has the pieces there. And, you know, what he told you is everybody expects him to win by 30. Well, you don't have to win all your games by 30. You just have to win them. And that's what North Carolina is doing. Now, in the second half, his team has not played as well offensively. And I think a big reason for that is they've only made 1 3-point basket. You know, they made 7 in the first half. And the game is much easier when the ball's going in the basket. And it was in the first half for North Carolina. They've struggled a little bit more offensively here in the second.
We asked him how practice was over the course of the next few days. He said spirited, as you would expect. Love at the ring.
You had a question about Armando Bacot's passing ability? Well, that looked pretty good.
Yes. 9 points for Love. 3 away from 1,000. Good finish by Wooden, the lefty. He's got 11. Carolina will stay patient, coming up on 3 to go here in the second half.
That was Bacot's first assist, so he's got a way to go for his triple-double. But he's got 20 and 19.
Yeah, how about that? 21 rebounds for Armando Bacot. Love wanted 1,000. Came up empty on a contested 3.
Well, North Carolina with some great ball movement in the first half. And here they just lose track with Caleb Love. But the one guy who didn't lose track of him was Bacot. Really nice pass.
Sule knew it off his hand, and Black pushes. Johnson got tangled with Offerum and finishes anyway, plus a foul.
This is a great job by Leaky Black to push this ball out quickly. And then Bob Johnson, you're right. He was, you know, I thought he was going to fall down, but somehow he keeps his balance, catches the ball. That's a really nice play. And there's North Carolina out in transition. They looked really impressive in transition in the first half.
You know, it's been this way for a while for Puff Johnson, but it is still so cool to see how this crowd reacts to him on the floor, especially in light of his performance in the national championship game and down the stretch last year.
I think that's why they're reacting that way.
Morse rattles one out. Bacot matches a career high with his 22nd rebound. Hubert Davis said to us about Puff Johnson, he said it's one of the strangest things. He could be out a month, a day, a year, and when he comes back, it's Puff doing Puff stuff, playing the right way, playing within the flow with the right energy for this group.
Just love to have guys like that they sort of don't need any review. They're just there. He walked, I think.
He did, according to Justin Porterfield in lockstep with you.
And Nance is disagreeing.
He says, I didn't even have the ball yet. That's his argument.
Well, somehow, without him having the ball, he and the ball both advanced quite a little distance.
Yeah. Margin is 19 inside the final 2 minutes. Freidell's had a tough day. Molson on the putback, 16 for the veteran, and Mark Byington takes a timeout inside of 2 minutes to go here in Chapel Hill. Final 2 minutes, North Carolina trying to get to 4-0. James Madison still has some headliners coming on its non-conference slate. They will be at Virginia in a couple of weeks. Remember, last year, back in Harrisonburg, it was a win for James Madison over the Cavaliers.
And, you know, we talked about Hubert Davis trying to put things together with guys coming in. Well, Mark Byington and JMU, they've got a couple of key players that are unavailable right at the moment. Terrell Strickland and Tyree Iheanacho are two guys they rely heavily on in the backcourt, and they haven't played yet this year.
Bacot, tough to haul in that lob from Love. Olsen couldn't handle it. And after deliberation, it is a James Madison turnover. And Mark Byington told us pregame for both those guys somewhere in the 2 or 3 week range until they get Iheanacho and Strickland back from their hand injuries.
Watch out!
Davis kept it alive. He goes tumbling through a lot of contact with Xavier Brown.
And let's think about something for Mark Byington and JMU, that they play here's a scramble for the ball. He's going to get a trip right there. They already played 10 guys.
Yeah.
And so here you're playing 10 guys, and obviously this will be their first loss. That's Strickland, you see with the cast on his hand. You're playing 10 guys. It's going pretty well for you so far. And then you're going to get 2 key guys who are going to play. And there's Iheanacho right there scratching his ear. But those are those two guys are going to come in, and so it's going to be an adjustment for everybody else on the team.
And that's always a concern for coaches. Mark Byington brought up to us pregame the Florida State model, unsolicited.
Well, it's one of those things where, and what he meant was that Leonard Hamilton has been able to get teams where he plays 10, 12 guys. Now, he didn't have them available this year because of injuries, but 10, 12 guys, and they all buy in, and they're all willing to, sacrifice playing time. And he's had that so far this year with this JMU team, but then he's going to add 2 more guys to the mix, and you just don't know how that's going to work.
Three-point play for Takel Molson. .116 to go, the margin 16 for the Heels. Carolina handles the pressure. Coming up on a minute to go. They'll play on Thanksgiving against Portland. You can watch that on ESPN. Then after that, it's either Iowa State or Villanova. Shot clock at 5 for Davis. On the step back. Too strong, rebound Opera. Tough shot from Molson.
And the Dukes are headed to Savannah for the tournament.
They battled here in Chapel Hill, but not enough against number 1. And Armando Bacot with a new career high with 23 rebounds to go along with 19 points. Love's Law! Exclamation point Nats! Offerham in the final 12 seconds with the flush. North Carolina 80, James Madison 64, and the Heels will get to 4-0.
Well, not quite yet.
Some talking there between both teams. Officials separated. Molson, he goes to the bench. 7 seconds left. And that will do it here in Chapel Hill. Hubert Davis and the Heels 4-0. For Dan Bonner, our entire crew behind the scenes, Mike Monaco saying so long. Coming up next, we still have a doubleheader of women's basketball for you. We will send you to Atlanta. Georgia Tech, Georgia, with Ben Schulman and Christy Thomascutti.